Hello, this is Billy Fletcher again with Alliance Champions Training Center. We've been talking about the 5 critical areas for optimization, both for training in the gym and life outside the gym. And today I wanted to focus a little bit more on the physical training, which is one of those critical areas. When I take a look at what brings most people to our gym, it's the physical training. That's what most people come in for originally, and then we work into some of the other critical areas as well. When I look at the physical training, what we really have done is breaking down our system into 3 major components. One is movement, number 2 is strength, and 3rd is conditioning. And over the 30 or so years that I've been in the field of fitness, I didn't always prioritize those 3 areas the way I do now. When I was a little bit younger, the area that I would focus on primarily would really be strength. Okay, and then conditioning, and then probably movement being 3rd. As I've gotten a little bit older, I've really started to realize the priority of movement. That is really our number 1 priority. All 3 of these areas fit together, but movement really becomes the critical thing. And how we break our movement training down is we try to simplify things. We try to use the KISS principle. So first, we look at movement in a very general term. So if we break all our physical movement down, we really can kind of break it down into 4 things. We have a push and a pull for upper body. That could be a vertical push or vertical pull, like an overhead press or a pull-up. It could be a horizontal push, like a bench press or a push-up, or a horizontal pull like a row, okay? But many varieties of those, but those are the basic general movements for upper body. And then for our lower body, we have what we call a hinge and a squat, okay? So a hinge will be something like a deadlift or picking something off the floor. Hinge would also be like a jump, like a broad jump. And of course, a squat would be any type of squatting motion. Even a lunge would be a type of squat. So we kind of simplify things by, even though we have many different movements we can do, they can really kind of be broken down to those four style or 4 movement patterns, okay? And then what we really have begun focusing on is really how we apply tension to create that movement. If we think about any type of movement, even just standing, what really holds us up is tension. So we have to have, if our skeletal structure would not support us if we didn't have tension on that skeletal structure through our muscles and our fascia. So we need tension to stand, we need tension to move, okay? So it's just a matter of, depending on the movement, what degree of tension we need to perform that movement. And really what we've really focused on with our clients, and really it's made a huge difference on the quality of movement, is how we're applying that tension in these different movements. So we'll talk a lot about really 2 types of tension, and we refer to the term torque. So we create torque as we move, okay? So if we take our basic movements, okay, we have our push, that's going to require internal torque. If we have our pull, it's going to be external torque. With our hinge, it's going to be internal, and with our squat, it's really going to be internal on the descent and external on the ascent. So that's really how we teach our movement. It's very basic, but dialing that in and getting people to understand that and feel that has made a really critical improvement in terms of not only performance, but also safety. And that's kind of our first phase of our training, is the movement, how we teach that movement. And then within that, we have different degrees of tension. So if I'm trying to perform a maximum effort lift, okay, I'm going to focus on maximal tension. If I'm going to do something that requires flow, like running, I still need tension, but I don't need maximum tension through the entire movement. I'll have kind of a combination of tension and relaxation. So that's another level of the movement that we're teaching, so we have maximal tension that we're producing for maximal effort lifts and so forth. And then we have a flow. We're creating a flow in movement, such as running, such as our martial arts training, things of that nature. And really those kind of set the framework. And then our conditioning will be a combination of those 2 things combined. So in terms of our physical training, again, we have, movement being the priority. Our strength training is number 2, and then our conditioning is number 3. With our biggest priority is movement first.